Hello, Crenshaw friends. We are on chapter 38. We last left off, and Marisol, if we go back to the page before, said Crenshaw would be a good name for a cat, I think. Jackson is left wondering, how did Marisol come up with the name Crenshaw when it was such an unusual name? How did she know that that was possibly the name of his imaginary friend? So let's find out. Chapter 38. I crossed the street. Twice I looked back. Marisol waved. Crenshaw. It must have been written on the bottom of the statue. By my teacher or my mom or me. There's always a logical explanation, I told myself. Always. Chapter 39. So, friends, I'm still wondering, how did Marisol know that that was the name of his imaginary friend? Of course, Jackson doesn't believe in magic or anything. He always thinks that there is a reason, but maybe there's not. Chapter 39. Last night, I sat on my mattress staring at what was left of my bedroom. My old bed, shaped like a red race car, the one I'd outgrown ages ago, was in pieces. A sticker on the headboard said $25 or best offer. Dents in the carpeting hinted at what used to be there. A cube where my nightstand should have been. A rectangle where my dresser once stood. My mom and dad came in after Robin was asleep. "How you doing, bud?" my dad asked. "Definitely roomier, huh?" "It's like camping out," I said. "Without the mosquitoes," said my mom. She handed me a plastic mug of water. I kept it by my bed in case I got thirsty in the middle of the night. She'd been doing that for as long as I could remember. The mug, which had a faded picture of Thomas the Tank Engine on it, was probably nearly as old as I was. My dad touched the mattress with his cane. "Next bed, let's make it more serious." "Not a race car," Mom nodded. "Maybe a Volvo," said my dad. "How about just a bed, I asked. "Absolutely," my mom said, leaned over and combed her fingers through my hair. A bed. "We'll probably make some bucks at the sale," my dad said, "so there's that." "They're just things," my mom said quietly. "We can always get new things." "It's okay. I like all the space," I said. "I think Aretha does too. And Robin. Batting without knocking anything over. And Robin can practice batting without knocking anything over." Both my parents smiled. For a few moments, neither spoke. "All right, we're out of here," my mom finally said. As he turned to leave, my dad said, "You know, you're such a big help, Jackson. You never complain, and you're always ready to pitch in. We really appreciate that." My mom blew me a kiss. "He's pretty amazing," she agreed. She winked at my dad. "Let's keep him around." They closed the door. I had one lamp left. Its light carved a yellow frown on my carpet. I closed my eyes. I imagined our things spread out on the lawn tomorrow. My mom was right, of course. They were just things, but of plastic and wood and cardboard and steel, bunches of atoms. I knew all too well that there were people in the world who didn't have Monopoly games or race car beds. I had a roof over my head. I had food most of the time. I had clothes and blankets and a dog and a family. Still, I felt twisted inside, like I'd swallowed a knotted up rope. It wasn't about losing my stuff. Well, okay, maybe that was a little part of it. It wasn't about feeling different from other kids. Well, okay, maybe that was part of it too. What bothered me most, though, was that I couldn't fix anything. I couldn't control anything. It was like driving a bumper car without a steering wheel. I kept getting slammed, and I just had to sit there and hold on tight. Bam! Were we going to have enough to eat tomorrow? Bam! Were we going to be able to pay the rent? Bam! Would I go to the same school in fall? Bam! Would it happen again? I took deep breaths, in and out, in and out, in and out. My fists clenched and unclenched. I tried not to think about Crenshaw on the TV or the dog cookie I'd stolen. Then, just the way I'd taken that cookie, without understanding why, without thinking about consequences, without any reason, I grabbed my mug and hurled it against the wall. Bam! It splintered into shards of cracked plastic. I liked the noise it made. I waited for my parents to return to ask what's wrong, to yell at me for breaking something, but no one came. Water trickled down the wall slowly, fading like an old map on a faraway train. Chapter 40. I woke in the night, sweaty and startled. I'd been having a dream. Something about a giant talking cat with a bubble beard. Oh, Aretha, who liked to share my pillow when she can get away with it, was drooling onto the pillowcase. Her feet were dream-twitching. I wondered if she was dreaming about Crenshaw. She'd certainly seemed to like him. Wait, I felt my brain screech to a halt, like a cartoon character about to careen off a cliff. Aretha had seen Crenshaw. At the very least, she'd reacted to him. She'd tried to lick him. She'd tried to play with him. She'd seemed to know he was there. Dogs have amazing senses. They can tell when a person is about to have a seizure. They can hear sounds when we only hear silence. They can unearth a piece of hot dog buried at the bottom of a neighbor's trash can. But however amazing dogs can be, they cannot see somebody's imaginary friend. They cannot jump into their owner's brain. So, did that mean that Crenshaw was real? Or was Aretha just responding to my body language? Could she tell I was freaking out? Or did she figure I'd come up with a brand new game called Let's Play with the Giant Invisible Cat? I tried to recall how she acted back when we were living in our minivan. Had she sensed Crenshaw's presence? I couldn't remember. I didn't want to remember. I covered my face with my drooly pillow and tried to go back to sleep. Okay, friends. It seems as if our character, Jackson, to his parents, seems okay, seems to be dealing with things, but when in fact, by throwing that mug at the wall, how do you think he really is feeling inside? Interesting. I also want you to think, do you really think that other people can see Crenshaw, like Aretha, his dog, or Marisol, or Robin? I want you to think about those two things. How is Jackson really feeling? And then can other people see Crenshaw? And we'll see you next time.